Hey guys, if you don't mind, we're gonna cheekily ask you to try and hit a subscriber target of 900 for this video. If you can help us get to 900, we'd really appreciate it. And a like target, if possible, of 40 likes for this Premier League prediction video. If you'd help us out, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, on to the video. Ladies and gentlemen, game week 6 predictions are in the books. We've moved on. I've got a big smile on my face because if we do a kind of a retrospective look here a little bit, going back to game week 5, I got 9 out of 10 results correct. And moving on to game week 6, I got 8 out of 10 results correct. So I'm on, again, I'm not promoting gambling here at all, but I think if you're looking for correct results here, I'm the guy to ride with at the moment. Couple of correct scores for me. Very, very proud of the Arsenal Spurs game and the Brighton Bournemouth game. I had a really good feeling about those two. Got those two right. Shout out to James as well with his classic 3-1 in the Liverpool West Ham, which he got as a correct result. I will say though, and I think James does have something to say, he's been a bit risky recently, and I don't know, James, are we going to see some different tactics from you going into the game week 7 predictions?
Again, I got to step up my game a little bit, but Jack, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I picked a 1-1 draw for Sheffield United, and then they got destroyed big time. But to be fair, if you guys did watch the game, Sheffield United had enough chances to be leading, in the first 25 to even in the first half, and then. Thing about football, especially about Premier League football, is that if you don't take your chances, teams are going to punish you, and that's what happened. They got absolutely punished, and that looks like an absolute howler from me. So I'll take that one on the chin there.
Yeah, I mean, no one was going to predict 8-0. Imagine you and me in the video going, I think Newcastle will beat Sheffield United at Bramall Lane 8-0. Like, no one's ever saying that. Our total just there, I've now increased my lead a little here. I'm on 49 points for the season. James is on 44, so James has a little work to do going forward. But there's no better place. There's no better place to start than game week 7. James will flip-flop back and forth here. I've been doing a lot of talking, so I'll let you start on these ones, and then I'll follow you. Let's go for Aston Villa versus Brighton. I've got it as 2-2. You've got Brighton winning that one 3-2 away from home. What's your breakdown on Villa versus Brighton?
I just want to check first of all if hopefully this is on TV. Okay, so it's on TNT, which is good because this is a game that is a must-watch, must-see from everybody. Two teams who are absolutely flying right now. Brighton, everybody know what Brighton is on, and Villa's been the team that everybody predicted that was going to be good, and they were a bit shocked after losing 5-1 to Newcastle in the first game, thinking, what's going on here? And they've shown the absolute quality. A big win at Stamford Bridge, and Brighton after going a goal down, coming back and showing what they do. I just feel here is that the one thing that we have is goals. We both see goals in this game, but to me, just that Brighton quality and that Brighton X factor, Jack, just seems to be oozing. And I think no matter where they go, home or away, I just seem to just back them that little bit more. They they just feel even when things are going a bit wrong, that they'll find a way right now. They have that bit of top team swagger right now. So I just have them getting all 3 points at Villa Park.
Yeah, look, I don't dislike any of your reasons there. And if this was at the Amex, I would take probably your score. I'd probably go 3-2 to Brighton. It's the fact it's at Villa Park. It's the fact it's Unai Emery. And James, if we're talking about Man City going away to Stamford Bridge and winning 1-0, we'd be saying stuff like, this is the form of champions. It wasn't pretty, but they got what they needed to do and they did what they needed to do. That's kind of what Villa did. I know it kind of everyone's beaten Chelsea, but I still think it's an impressive feat at the moment. I don't think that any team can rock up to Stamford Bridge and just win in an easy game. I don't think any.
Well, actually, right now, let's be honest, Jack. Any team is showing up and winning.
I'm just saying, I'm still gonna give Villa credit. Again, those attacking options are insane as well going forward. You see the attacking lineup, even without Leon Bailey, is nuts. So I do think they'll be competitive, and I just think on top of, I still think being competitive, I think that Unai Emery factor is huge there as well, and a really good matchup of two great managers in Unai Emery and De Zerbi. Right, James, back to you. Bournemouth versus Arsenal. A little bit of a shock on my scoreline here, but you've got it more conventional. Do you want to explain how you think Arsenal are going to do in Bournemouth?
maybe it's me, but Arsenal haven't been convincing. I don't think it's me. You can clearly see it. Just even the games that we win, it hasn't been nuts. It hasn't been pretty. I think the biggest thing for me, it hasn't been free flowing, and a few injuries coming away from the game against Tottenham. Trossard and Martinelli was out the week prior to that. I don't know what's going to go on with Declan Rice. That could play a part in it, but I just like to think that we can go there and we have enough quality to get the job done. Because if we don't get the job done, it's going to be a tough feat having the week after play Manchester City before it was must win. Now it's like you can't even. Before it was like you can't lose. Now it's like a must win game. I do believe the quality that we have, and especially away from home, we play with a bit more confidence. So I see us just getting a 3-1 win in a tough game, and later on we kicking on. Hopefully, Bournemouth get tired.
I'm taking a bit of a risk here. The easy, safe thing to do, especially with my 5-point lead, would be to just take the Arsenal win. Of course it would be. But James, I'm going based on, I think for the whole season, I'm just going to do on what I think is going to happen. I think Arsenal are going to be ignoring this game. I think they're looking at Champions League, and I think they're looking at Man City. I think that's what they're preparing for. When they wake up, their preparation, their training, that may even bleed through to the coaching staff as well. And I think an away trip to Bournemouth is something that they might just think, we're just going to win that game. Well, like you said, there are some injuries. Again, I don't think they're major issues. I still think the Arsenal starting 11 is going to be good enough and it's not going to change their style of play. But I think mentally they might run into a team where they go, man, maybe we should have given these guys a bit more credit. I'm totally just, predicting that happening. I think it's based on nothing. And you could well be right. Arsenal could easily win this game. I just think this is maybe a trap game and they're looking too far ahead. Maybe we hear the saying over and over again, one game at a time. Maybe Arsenal could become unstuck. I've just got a feeling. I can kind of feel it in my jellies. So that's what we're going with. 1-1 for me. James, Everton versus Luton. You've gone for the win. I've gone for 3 straight draws in the Premier League games, which I don't feel good about. You think Everton are going to be able to actually score some goals finally?
They were able to do that in the last game against Brentford in a tough away game. I think we both had them probably dropping points in that game, Jack. Going back there.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, I had a draw, to be fair. You had the win. I had the draw. Big L for me there. But but I had them not getting all 3 points. But I just look at Luton right now, Jack, and it just feels it doesn't inspire you. Granted that they were able to get a point against Wolves, but bear in mind it was 10 men Wolves, and the penalty was quite, fortunate. Like when you look at it, I do look at Wolves. Calvin, DCL seems to be how does it? Dominic Calvert-Lewin, seems to have found his fitness a little bit. They were able to score some goals and gain some confidence, and I just believe back in Goodison Park they can get going again. And I think a 2-0 win is what I'm feeling.
I think we're probably getting to a point of desperation for Luton. I know it's still early in the season, but again, this is a game they'll look at and go, man, maybe we could get a draw and maybe we could snag a win from a game like this. So I think that will play into it. But I just think, especially with the manager situation as well, I just think it will be a much closer game than expected. It's going to probably be low block across the board. And if anything, maybe this will be a territory and possession dominant Everton performance. But again, I think Luton will have enough to prevent that. I'm not scared of Everton dominating the ball at all. So to me, 2 teams not quite at it. Dominic Calvert-Lewin being fit is fine, but when is he going to be hurt again? So I'm just going for 0-0 again. I don't feel great about that pick, and maybe I should have gone for the Everton goal, but I just went with what was first in my head. James, a desperate Manchester United team were able to pick up the 1-0 victory against Burnley with Johnny Evans getting a disallowed goal and Bruno Fernandes with really one of the goals of the weekend as well. Manchester United at home, back at home. Obviously that home win streak is now gone. Palace coming to town, who've historically provided some trouble for Manchester United over the years and a lot of top Premier League teams. You've got it as 2-1. Do you want to defend that one?
Jack, if you watch the Burnley game, guys, you would see that Man United were very, very fortunate to leave it all 3 points, Jack. You mentioned Johnny Evans. Not only did he have a goal disallowed, but he set up the goal for Bruno Fernandes with an unbelievable crossfield pass. And Jack said one of the goals of the week, one of the goals of the season for me to watch that and to execute it the way he did was unbelievable. But they didn't give me any confidence. They just got 3 points in that month, and that was a lot more to them than like just, but that meant a lot more to them than just the performance. But I think Crystal Palace, they're going to look at Man United after that performance and believe that with the players we have, with the sort of talent and especially that sort of dribbling ability with the likes of Eze there, with the likes of Jordan Ayew, like Ayew there, who can really trouble Manchester United. I believe they're going to go there with confidence, but just that bit of element of surprise, that bit of quality that we've seen against Burnley, Man United have that in abundance with players like Bruno and Rashford there. So I just have them scraping a 2-1 win at home.
James, I think Erik ten Hag's been very, very lucky. All this stuff with Jadon Sancho at the moment and questions about him and the bad start. They have Burnley away and then they're back at home against Crystal Palace. And then I think it's a relatively easy Champions League fixture midweek as well. I'm going to predict that...
Yeah, there's no Champions League fixture this week. It's League Cup this week.
League Cup this week, gotcha. So Manchester United, James, could have 3 wins on the bounce here amidst this kind of uncertainty about Erik ten Hag and the team and stuff. And I just think that if he does get these 3 wins in the bounce, the squad will get back playing. A lot of these injuries are coming back too. Expect Raphael Varane back pretty soon. Maybe somebody like Sofiane Amrabat coming into the team. James, I thought Hannibal Mejbri, or whatever his name is, I thought he actually looked kind of okay as well from seeing the highlights of him playing as well. So I just think Man United will be able to sneak by. I think this game will probably be 2-1 for a while. Palace will be coming, and then Manchester United will get a goal with somebody like Rashford on the break. Relatively convincing scoreline, maybe not the most convincing performance though, which sums up Man United at the moment. James, Newcastle, 8 different goal scorers, 8-0 against Sheffield United, one hell of a football match. They're now welcoming Burnley to town. We've both gone 3-0 here. Any idea on maybe bumping this up to 7 or 8?
Surely not. But even 3-0, if 3-0, if let's just say if that's the case, that's 11 goals in like 2 games, and for a team who, Jack, let's be truthfully honest, has kind of suffered confidence-wise, Jack. You know, the last home win against Brentford wasn't spectacular. They were able to they were awarded a very fortunate penalty there. They went to the San Siro. Granted, they did get a point there, but they got absolutely battered in that game. So the team lacking in confidence due to a few results, and for them to win like that, and how emphatic it was, I got it wrong because I said 1-1, and we know what happened there. I just think the confidence is slowly but surely brewing, and the Burnley team who hasn't won this year, all the 3 promoted teams haven't found a win yet, and I don't see Burnley being the first one to do that.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. I think the couple of things stand out. The clean sheet stands out away from home. That's big. Obviously, the 8 goals is a complete outlier. I don't know what the XG was for the game, but I can't imagine it was anything more than maybe 4 or 5. But again, I don't know. I'd have to check that. Yeah, James, the hat-trick of Kieran Trippier assists is what interested me. I think we might be seeing Kieran Trippier back to his kind of best right back in the league type form that he displayed last week. And I think they'll continue that at home, and Newcastle will become stronger defensively. The attack will continue to blossom and continue to grow. So yeah, 3-0, very convincing. James, moving over to East London, West Ham United, and funnily enough, speaking of them, Sheffield United recovering from that 8-0. You and I both don't have them bouncing back here in any way, shape or form. 3-0, another convincing West Ham win. You want to explain that one?
Again, West Ham, they went to Anfield, and Jack, they did well. They did really well. We're unfortunate not to get a penalty in that game. A player like Lucas Paqueta right now, Jack, I'm in awe of this player, because I think us in Manchester City are looking heavily at him, and I can see why. He was absolutely tremendous against Liverpool. And West Ham have been very, very good this season, even without a player like Declan Rice. And Sheffield United, after losing 8-0, I was going to say 7, I forgot it was 8. They're not going to come into this fixture with a lot of confidence, and I think they'll be happy to leave there with as less damage as possible. So 3-0, still bad, but they'll take it after the 8.
Yeah, look, James, I'm totally with you. And you've mentioned it already. The three promoted teams, the way it's going, James, all these teams are going to have new managers pretty soon. West Ham, David Moyes seems to be a well-oiled machine, and I'm not going to lie to you, that Declan Rice money has been spent well. I don't have to repeat myself again and tell you how much I love James Ward-Prowse. I think everybody watching knows that now. You mentioned it as well. Somebody like Lucas Paqueta is absolutely fantastic as well, and they're going in the right direction. They're at home against a team that kind of, it feels like they just want to take their parachute payments and head back to the Championship. So 2-0 convincing for me as well. James, interesting matchup, Wolverhampton Wanderers at home versus Manchester City. I've kind of gone quite emphatic here. You've gone 1-0, which says to me that you think that maybe Manchester City will struggle against Wolves here. How do you think this one goes?
100%, Jack. The fact that they're going to be missing a player like Rodri, and it looks like Calvin Phillips is going to have to fill in for him, and we've seen what his confidence is like right now. It isn't great. So you have a lot of players out, and again, players also are like coming in, but the reason why I have them winning this game because it is Manchester City with the sort of players that they would have had out, and especially going away from home, I would have teams dropping points. But like, because they're champions, because they know how to find a way, because they have players like Phil Foden and Erling Haaland, Daka, who can really hurt teams, I just have them scraping a 1-0 win. So I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 1-0 there.
Yeah, look, you know my thoughts on Wolves. I think there's a sleeping giant might be a little strong, but I think there's a lot of potential in that Wolves team, right? I really do. Again, I'm going to stop myself because I already tweeted about it. Those of you who follow me, I saw the Wolves team sheet and Sasa Kalacic was on the bench again. So I don't know if I need to get on the phone to Wolves.
Jack, he's taking over Mircevic. Who's the other guys that Jack used to love? He's becoming your new man crush.
Yeah, well, because again, I think that, James, for a team like Wolves, I think there's a 15-goal a season striker in there in the Premier League. I really do. But again, clearly the Wolves brass don't. So yeah, I guess I'm the kind of the number one fan of his fan club right now. But I just don't understand it without the goal threat and what he's capable of. But anyway, I don't think that they've got enough in them to do anything against this Man City team. 3-0. James, game of the week, not even close. As much as Villa Brighton is kind of a cool game, Spurs versus Liverpool, who are in hot form at the moment. You've got Liverpool at Tottenham, winning 3-1. How do you see the game going?
I feel like this is, if you look at Liverpool's score lines this season, this is a very traditional score line for them. And Jack, the thing about Liverpool is that, yeah, I'm for me. The thing about Liverpool that people need to appreciate right now is that, granted, I get it, the defense isn't great. It almost feels like they're leaking chances and teams just scoring against them every single week. But in terms of view of a front six of players, of choice of players, I think it's the best in the league. And every single week, Jack, we see Liverpool scoring about 2 to 3 goals, maybe even more than that. They got Núñez playing well. They got Salah just arguably playing some of the best playmaking football of his Liverpool career. Spurs were fantastic against Aston, and like, they're gonna go in the game with confidence. But I feel like this is a game that Liverpool win and show everybody that they are Man City's closest challengers, not Arsenal. So this is a game that they can really put a stamp on onto me, their title charge.
James, do we know James Maddison's injury at the moment? Do we know the extent of that? I
like to think that he played like an extra 5 minutes after like the injury, so I like to think that hopefully he's going to rest in the league. No, they're out of the League Cup, so he should be fit.
Should be fit. James, I think James Maddison's actually been great, and I kind of feel bad. I kind of messed that one up, and just in terms of my own evaluation, I think I kind of got that one wrong. He's been really good for Spurs. And James, he's given Spurs a little bit of personality as well, which I like. Son seems to be playing well. And Postecoglou is doing a great job. I really didn't think he would do as good a job as he's doing. I thought Spurs would be likable again, like in terms of hardworking and fun and all this stuff, even without Kane and, a totally new style. But again, I think, James, this Spurs-Liverpool game is going to go almost identical to the way that the Spurs-Arsenal game went. But I do just think that Liverpool have that kind of slightly more clinical finishing aspect to them. And when it's close, when it is 2-2, Liverpool will find that goal. So we both have the win now. I think it might just be a little closer. James, Forest hosting Brentford. You've got a 1-1 draw. How do you think that game goes?
Forest hosting Brentford. Sorry, I've just went a complete brain freeze. Jack, could you take this over? Sorry, I've just
No,
had a
that's all right.
complete brain fart, brain freeze.
So for me, I just think that Nottingham Forest, again, it still feels like a lot of moving parts. And I know I said this last year, but again, there's lots of kind of big names coming in, big players leaving. I think what we thought the team was going to be, it didn't end up being after a while, and they're kind of shifting into this kind of new direction slowly but surely. Again, Brentford, I feel like I always underrate, so I'm just going to go with Brentford, the team that I kind of have, just generally speaking, a bit more confidence in to be able to snag a close one. I wanted to go for a 1-1 draw, but I thought I'd had too many draws in my predictions here, so I just went with the stronger side.
Jack, sorry for the little brain fart
That's all right.
thing, guys. I totally forgot. And now I'm back awake, and now I know the fixtures. I remember the teams. I totally forgot what team it is. But yeah, I feel like Nottingham Forest, Jack, has this low key bit of quality that a lot of teams, a lot of people are estimating. I was quite disappointed with like the fact that, Jack, they went to the best team in England, and after the man was sent up, it took them time to bring on players like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Elanga, players who can really, really hurt teams. So to me,
Yeah.
they do have quality there. It just tells me how brave are they going to be? And if they're brave enough, you're definitely going to see them stay in the Premier League. For this game, I feel like the quality is even. Yeah, so I'm happy to sit on the fence here.
Yeah, look, I don't blame you as well. And also, I think there is that whole thing. You're kind of playing a game within a game, aren't you? Like, you look at your own scores and you think, there's got to be one draw, two draws. Like, what game's that? Do you know what I mean? You kind of play the averages a little bit. Final game of the week, London derby, just like every other football match in the Premier League. We've both got Fulham beating Chelsea, which again, James, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, you think about this a couple of years ago, or maybe a couple of years in the future, this might seem insane, but right now, I think everyone watching is thinking Fulham's going to win this game, which shows you the kind of sad state of affairs at Chelsea at the moment. Closer one for you, and also Chelsea with a goose egg in terms of their goals. How do you see this one going?
Jack, this is a dark time for Chelsea fans. My goodness gracious me, man. Teams don't respect them. I thought it was bad last season. I thought they hit it. Jack, remember when we said that they hit an absolute low last season? We thought it can't get worse than that. It just might do, Chelsea fans. It just might do. And like right now, it has. I'm surprised that they even have 5 points. That's very good for them. But going away to Fulham, to think that a couple of years ago, Jack, this is an easy game for Chelsea. But right now, the question is for me, Jack, where are the goals going to come from?
Exactly.
I'm seeing Chilwell being their biggest attacking threat to the point of view of getting chances. He won't take them. Yeah, I'm seeing Jackson, who for a striker, he has 5 yellow cards, Jack. He's had more yellow cards than even goals. And the amount of chances he gets week in and week out, game in and game out, he doesn't take it. Sterling, when he gets in front of goal right now, it seems to be a brain fart. It's just, there's so much stuff going on in Chelsea. And the issue is that they just can't put the ball in the net. And if they could do that, it would be a completely different story. Fulham, on the other hand, they have the something about them. Against City, granted, it was 5-0, but they were in the game in the first 45 minutes. They're able to get a point at the Emirates. And Jack, they are a threatening team. They do have players that even with a player like Mitrovic out, they still have an attacking threat there. And I just see them snagging this game against Chelsea.
Yeah, look, me too. I do think Chelsea will score. I think they have that in them, but Fulham are just a better team. I don't even know what to say about it. Guys, keep an eye out for me and James talking Chelsea shortly. We're going to put that out. And also, drop your own predictions below. Hit a like and hit subscribe as well. And until next time, we will see ya.